Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the English R sound and comparing that with the rolling Russian sound, the R, right? First of all, let's start over here with some R initial words. So there with the R sound at the beginning. These are less difficult usually. So let's try the pronunciation of these. So we have ring, rock, roof, radio, rabbit, roses, raisins, rectangle, and so on. So you can hear the r, the soft r sound in English, as opposed to the rolling r that you might have in Russian. Now, both of these sounds in English and in Russian are very difficult to acquire, to get as children. So when I was a child, I liked a character who was called Roland Rat. Now, I couldn't pronounce this sound, it was too difficult. So I used to pronounce this as a W. So I would pronounce R as W. And I know that in Russian, if you have a word like riba, right? Russian children will often pronounce this as liba, because the r, the R sound, is more difficult. So it takes some time to learn that. And that's the same when we're adults. I think that the R sound is challenging. So when I was learning Russian, the R was very difficult. And I think even now when I speak the language, sometimes there's a tendency to soften the R too much. So instead of saying мне нравится, нравится, with the rolling R sound, you might hear an English person say нравится. So that would be an English accent in Russian. Мне нравится, right? So that the R is soft like in English, but of course it's a mistake. So equally, when Russian people speak English, they have a tendency to roll the R. We don't want to do that when we're speaking English, okay? So, what might help here is looking at the position of the tongue in the mouth. So if you want to see the technical side, over here we have L, L. You can probably see my tongue there. L, can you see that? Between the teeth. L, L. So that's the L sound. And the R sound has the tongue coming up in the mouth. L, L, it's up there. But it's not touching the top here. And the sides of the tongue are coming up, like that. Right? So a good way to think about it is that the tongue is kind of like a bowl. Right? So the sides are coming up, and the front is coming up towards the top of the mouth, but it's not touching it. There's space for the air to come through. So R, R, and L, L, right? See and hear the difference there between those two sounds. So as I was saying, the R initial sounds, the R initial words, are not as difficult, I don't think, as when you have the R in the middle here. So if someone has a very strong Russian accent in English, they will say not Russia and Russian, they will say something like Russia and Russian, right? They'll be rolling the R, but that's a very strong accent. I don't think most of you will have that. But it gets more difficult when you have the R here in the middle or towards the beginning of words. So this one wouldn't be structure, right? It's not the rolling R. It's a soft R, so it's structure, structure, street, not street, right? Street, struggle, career, career, try, bury, cry, and carry. So I think when you pronounce these words in isolation, like you're reading them from a dictionary, that's not a very natural situation, right? No one really reads the dictionary aloud. When we're communicating, we would have these words together in a sentence, and you'll have things like connected speech affecting the pronunciation, especially of vowel sounds. But you also have to remember to put the r in there every single time that it appears, and not to roll. So your instinct is to roll the R, but we don't do that in English, not unless you're from Scotland. So if you have a Scottish accent, you actually have an advantage when you're learning Russian, because you already know the r from your own way of speaking. But in standard British English, we don't tend to use that. So here I've written a nonsense sentence, doesn't matter about the meaning, using R initial words, just to practice the r, the soft English r sound. So the raccoon ran the risk of ruining the red rug. So by writing some sentences like this and practicing them as often as you can, you will improve your pronunciation of the soft English r, trying to remove the rolling Russian r. So equally you could write sentences of your own using the R in the middle of the words. Okay, I think that's it for now. So if you enjoyed the video, leave us some likes, leave us your comments. Any suggestions for future videos are welcome. Don't forget to check out our website, and I'll see you next time.